Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Fode, and welcome back to the Algo Traders Club. I'll be your coach for this new program, man. It's finally here. It's finally here. I know it took a while, but I needed to make sure that actually the program was relevant. But then on the other side, I also realized that as fast as AI is moving right now, if I waste any time, the content that I made just like last week or last month basically will be gone over and pretty much like obsolete, right? So I went back and redo the curriculum again, removed all open claw, unfortunately. So it was like very open claw, like heavy, like this past months. But I realized that it was a mistake, and we need to keep it as simple as possible right now. We need to focus on like basically building our trading agent and not worry about running open claw on all that stuff. Okay. Now, what is the Algo Traders Club? The Algo Traders Club is a community I'm building to basically bring together folks who are interested in building autonomous trading agents, primarily right now on Hyperliquid. And hopefully we can get together, build a community, and work on our strategies. Because if you think about it right now, like AI it's getting so good right now. I think it will take maybe an hour or two to actually build an agent. But it will take a whole lot more time basically to build a profitable trading agent. Again, right? What we want to do is basically build profitable trading agents. Agents that can actually make money trading for you on some kind of exchange, blockchain, or whatnot. And in this particular situation, it is Hyperliquid. All right. So when we say actually Algo Traders Club, obviously it's a community of like algo traders. But the idea is that I want you to think of yourself actually as an operator. You are going to be operating agents. All right. And that's why you can see the word operator everywhere within the Algo Traders Club literature or basically web copy or whatnot, right? The idea is that it's getting very, very difficult right now to actually find developer jobs. Even if you're a seasoned engineer, we've been working maybe like for like a decade, maybe more sometimes, you've basically found yourself jobless, right? Because the AI or coding agents are doing most of the job right now. They are writing most of the code. Google just came out recently and said that basically internally, most of the new code written at Google actually is like 75% written by AI, right? So what actually makes us any different? I haven't been writing code by hand at least for like a year and a half now, and I don't think that there's actually there's going to be any going back. The idea is that like we want to basically build agents who trade, and then based on the results of the trades, we can come back and change our strategies and actually improve our agents. And for that, we don't actually have to actually write any code ourselves. The agent can actually write it. And there might be like a change here. I actually put like a Claude Code here. There's Claude Code actually. I was hoping to actually use to orchestrate and write our code. But I think actually we might change it because Claude Code is becoming very expensive. And I want for this program to be accessible to anybody in the world. Because if you think about it, actually, blockchains are like permissionless. Like Wall Street is literally moving on chain. So the idea is that is Wall Street moving on chain and it's permissionless. That means that actually anybody, anywhere in the world, be it in Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, anywhere in the world, if you have the know-how and the technical chops, you can basically plug in to Hyperliquid and write trading agents and operate one or many agents, which will actually go and try to generate revenue for you. And I think this is a game changer. And there's actually even more. There's actually even more about this. Actually, there's even more details, but we get into it. But the idea is that we need to basically start small. How do we build the smallest basically trading agent, which will actually go and place open and close positions on Hyperliquid, and then from there we can pretty much increment and improve our trading agent like slowly, like actually step by step. So that is the idea behind this community that I'm building. We're gonna basically actually start from scratch now. I'm going to remove all the stuff that was actually inside, like for the community itself, right? And as of this Monday, what is it again? This Monday, April 26th, we are going to basically, at 5 p.m., we are going to basically start from scratch. And I should explain why 5 p.m. Because with Hyperliquid, you hear that actually it's a perp exchange, but really actually it's a futures exchange, right? And what is a futures basically? We're not going to get into right now, but you can like ask ChatGPT or whatnot, or Claude or whatever to tell you basically what actually a perp is. But a perp basically is a position that pretty much never expires, or like a perpetual position, right? That's actually what it is, right? You basically open it up and there's no expiry. You can leave it up for basically 1 year, 2 years, even whatever, right? But obviously you are going to pay a small fee, what they call funding rate, and we'll figure out actually what that means later. But perpetuals are like really game changer. And I'm not sure if you following the news lately, but even Polymarket is going to be implementing perpetuals this coming like recently, or even I'm not sure if they already have, or they're about to basically implement perps or perpetuals features. Okay, so they are everywhere, right? So the only problem is that right now, like features are not available everywhere in the world. So your access, it depends on actually your region, where you are right now, or where do you live. That's actually will actually dictate a lot whether or not you have access to this stuff. But the idea is that like start now. If it's available in your region, start now. Or this is not legal advice. Obviously, you can use a VPN to be able to access Hyperliquid. All right. So I invite you to go again, check out algotradersclub.com, and then from there you can basically browse through the main page. Figure out actually if this is for you. Read up a little bit, right? And understand actually what we are basically trying to build, the economy itself, right? And basically going from code to capital. Simple as that, man, right? So what is actually, you can see here, a simple, powerful workflow for deploying autonomous trading agents on Hyperliquid L1 and operating them with Claude Code, subject to change, and Nexwave. And sorry I didn't actually mention it earlier, but I am the main founder and engineer at Nexwave, which is a data platform for trading agents, and which you will definitely need, as a matter of fact. But we can talk about it later, right? But today we are here to talk about Algo Traders Club specifically, okay? So now, again, just check it out, read it up a little bit, but most importantly, go here on the top here, right, on the top, and check out the curriculum for 2026. So this actually I've changed quite a bit, because initially actually, it was, like I said again, very OpenClaw heavy, because I thought that you would need something to basically help you manage your agent, but then that gets you like 1 degree removed actually from the agent you are trying to build. Right? So actually, I don't think it's a great idea. I think right now we basically need to focus on strictly building our trading agent and improving it and incrementally making it better until it starts making us money. The goal is that basically, can we have an agent that's making us about a minimum? Actually, the basic target is like having an agent which can trade and make us $1 a day. Can it make us $5 a day? Can it make us $10 a day? Or ultimately, which is about $300 a month? Or can it make us $1,000 a day? Sorry, $100 a day, which is, $3K a month. With $3,000 a month, you can live anywhere in the world, right? Because again, the goal for us actually right now is that jobs are going away, but all of us want sovereignty. And I think like blockchains and actually platforms like Hyperliquid give us a chance to basically be sovereign again, to basically regain our sovereignty, because it's permissionless and all you need is knowledge. And of course, a little bit of capital to get started, but you don't need much. All right. But as a community, we can. This is not easy, obviously. It's not easy, man. But as a community, hopefully, we can actually go together and figure out a way to help each other develop strong strategies, which will actually help us have more profitable trades, or actually for our agent to have more profitable trades. Okay. So you can look at you can do kind of. This is a flow right now, but this will change as well, right? So you're going to have like basically, you're going to be the main operator, and you will operate on your agent via SSH, right? And again, it's secure shell, write a shell, terminal, and we'll go over through every single detail, right? Right now, again, it's Claude Code, but this is something to change. I'm thinking about maybe switching up to Cursor, because this is getting very expensive. And if you're writing agents, you're going to iterate a lot, right? Actually, an operator is more like a researcher, because you're going to basically build a strategy, give it to your agent to trade. It will trade a few trades. You will take the results, bring them back, evaluate them, see if it worked or not. Did you make money or not? Did you lose money? Maybe switch your, maybe update your strategy and let it trade again and go through the cycle over and over again, right? So there's a lot of R&D, right? So you're an operator, but at the higher level, you are a researcher. And I want you to basically keep that in mind, right? Because this is going to be like a never-ending research and a study to figure out a way to basically improve your strategy in order to make them profitable. Okay, so you are a researcher. I want to like really anchor it in your mind, right? You are a researcher, and you operate on your agents, but you are a researcher. You're going to be constantly looking for like strategies to have an edge to be able to basically help your agent make money. Okay, so now there's a CLI actually option here, but I think this I might remove as well, because I think it makes it too complicated. I think the CLI actually is just too complicated. Maybe I'll just have it very, very simple where there's no CLI. It's just pretty much an agent that executes and trades in the beginning for you. I think you have to keep it very, 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 very simple. So this actually might be gone. Maybe you can add it later if you want as a bonus or something like that, right? Risk manager, like risk management is like the crucial piece of algorithmic trading. The idea is that just don't die. And it might actually sound extreme, but what that actually means is that just do not go to zero. As long as your agent is not going to zero, it can make money. Right? As long as the agent has money in its wallet, it can trade. I'm not saying it can make money. As long as your agent has money in its wallet, it can trade. And that's the idea. Because the more trades you do, the more actually data you get, and from there you'll be able to know whether or not your agent is actually, like, your strategy is working, if it's profitable. You know, what is your win rate? You know, like what is your win rate, right? So that's going to be very, very important, as a matter of fact, right? So risk management is key. That's actually why I put it here, right? We're going to use basically CCXT, and CCXT is a library to basically abstract like exchanges and make it very, very easy for you to basically plug into an exchange. So I want for us to basically have like a standard way to basically plug it into like a Hyperliquid, instead of like all of us going in and trying to build our agents some particular way, whatever, right? I think if we use Hyperliquid, if we use a CCXT, actually, and we can look it up here, CCXT, right? CCXT on GitHub, and you'll be able to see that it's basically a wrapper for exchanges. And it supports actually many exchanges, right? It supports many exchanges, but most importantly, it supports Hyperliquid, a DEX, right? If you look at all this thing, right, all of this stuff that basically CCXT supports are all centralized exchanges. You can see it here, right? CEX, until you come here, DEX, Hyperliquid. I think there's another one called Woofy, but I don't know what this Woofy is, so I don't even care, right? So look at this. So this is the only one that basically CCXT supports, and we'll basically figure out later what actually CCXT is. And we can see a note here, a cryptocurrency trading API with more than 100 exchanges in JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, everything that you want. Okay? And it's called CCXT, and it's been around for a while. And actually, if you look at on YouTube, there's a bunch of guys. This guy especially, I forgot his name, but he does like a lot of like a CCXT content around like Hyperliquid and actually all his exchanges. You should be able to check him out as well. Okay? So that's the idea behind CCXT. And now, if we if you just look into here, just like read a little bit actually about this stuff, like why actually this is important, and actually why this operator thing that I'm talking about is very, very, very important for like 2026, like now going forward, because you want to be like an agent operator, and like if you're coding by hand and stuff, get by hand, get that out of your mind. Nobody's writing code like that anymore. Like the AI is writing code better than us, so we can focus on basically higher architectural stuff, basically, right? That's the idea. I want to be able to design financial trading systems. Okay? So Wall Street on chain, right? And actually, this is exactly what's happening right now. And you don't want to miss the boat, because in 2-3 years from now, there will be no jobs. There will be no jobs. So what are you going to do? But if you went to school, if you like really sat down and like learn how to code, you know, some basic JavaScript or Python, TypeScript or whatnot, right? I think now is the time to basically become an algo trader, man. Now is the perfect time, basically. Because this, again, is permissionless. You're not interviewing for nobody. You're asking for no permission. Obviously, it's hard because you need to basically have strategies that make money. But all of it is research. And constant research is amazing because you are constantly growing, constantly learning, reading papers, getting to know better math, probability, statistics, and all that stuff. Some of it is hard, yes, but it's very rewarding in the end as well, right? So the idea is like, right, permissionless and on-chain, technical discipline, and for you to become the operator. So this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is very much so rigorous. And again, you think of yourself almost as a PhD, as a researcher, but for finance. And it's very, very fun. Because if you think about it, back in the days, you would have to like really go to like some crazy master's program to become a quant or whatnot. And we are not saying that we are quants, but we see ourselves are the future quants. And by quant, that means basically a quantitative, maybe like a quantitative finance engineer, a quantitative finance analyst or whatnot, they call them, right, in Wall Street. So that's what we want to become. Okay? So, again, what we build here, right, is basically like a trading pipeline. right? We want to basically take either data or signals and be able to like basically open positions on Hyperliquid, open or close positions on Hyperliquid, and hopefully by the time we close it, we already make some money, because if you close it, we lost some money, obviously. It's a losing trade, right? So that's the idea, right? We want to basically build operators, agents, right, as operators and researchers, right? So what actually is a task at hand? What are we going to build, or what are we going to do? And let me get you to Hyperliquid, and I'm minimize myself here. Right? I don't need to be that big here, right? I'll put myself here because actually this, you don't have to worry about the order book here. The order book, right? Don't worry about it. It moves really fast. It's not like for you to basically look at it, try to understand, make some sense out of it, this stuff, right? But right now, it has never been a better time to basically get into algorithmic trading. You know why? Because you can trade oil and gas on chain, not just crypto anymore. Look at this. This is basically oil, right? Brent oil. Okay. Actually, I have some notes here that I wanted to write a little bit. Let me actually write this up. So we are going to trade our agents are going to trade oil, gas, and we can say commodities, right? Equities, okay, stocks, etc. Right? We want to trade basically all this stuff because this stuff is amazing. We can trade it on chain. All right? But the problem is that oil is not Bitcoin or crypto. This is very important. Right? Let's actually make this bigger for you to get this right. This is important, right? Oil is not crypto. And that the reason actually being is that because oil is traded as a future in the futures markets, but oil, like a lot of times basically, or like some of these equities and equities and gas and commodities and all that stuff, right? They depend on the Wall Street hours, which means that basically oil moves between 9:30 a.m. Eastern to about 5 p.m. Eastern, and then there's a 1 hour gap between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. and then the futures markets again open. Asia opens in the evening, and then in the middle of the night, London opens, and then in the morning, actually Wall Street opens. So your agent needs to understand all this stuff, as a matter of fact, or it can basically get the intelligence from somewhere else, right? And all it does is pretty much execute trades. But at the core, we want to build an agent which basically execute orders here in this environment on our behalf based on strategies we basically build or came up with. Or maybe actually your strategy, maybe it's not even you actually. Maybe it's just basically Claude help you come up with strategies, but it's the same. Okay? So that's the idea, right? So now we say, okay, well, if you are new to here, maybe I should know some coding and all that stuff. You know some Python, some JavaScript, TypeScript, whatever. But you come here, you're like, okay, well, you know what? This is hella complicated. It looks like a cockpit of like a fighter jet or something like that. There's numbers everywhere and all that stuff, right? But everything is, I think the Germans said it. Everything is hard until you learn how to do it. Anything is hard until you learn how to do it. If you look at this actually window, right, it's not that complicated. If you basically break it into sections, there's this section, which is a chart. There's this section, which is a kind of a header here, right? We got the header here, right? We got the chart here, okay? We got these like symbols and all that stuff, whatever, but we can actually make it cleaner. And then we have this order book here, and then we have this panel here, right? It says 0, and then we have these things here right now, right? Positions, balances, TWAP, trade history. But this is very empty right now. But you will see actually in a minute, once we basically actually plug in our wallet, this basically becomes open again, okay? And to make it even actually simpler, we can take a look at it, because this stuff is the most crucial stuff we can basically think about. Because in the end, actually, this is what we want to see. In the end, we want to be able to like basically understand what this is, or actually our agent to understand what actually this particular screen actually means. But for today, this is going to be like the final basically screen, but let's actually strip it all bare and go again one by one so we can actually understand what actually exactly are we looking at right now. You see here, right? Brent oil USD. So this is most likely the price of oil USD. It's this green line here, right? We see this ADX and RSI. What are this? These are basically indicators, but we don't have to worry about it right now, okay? And actually what we can do right now, we come here and actually delete here, come out here again, remove this one, and only remove this one. And actually remove this one, remove these blue bands and red bands in the middle, Bollinger Band. Let's actually make it disappear, right? Let's go here and look at this. And what does this represent basically? This graph actually, this bear graph. What does it represent actually? This represents the price of oil over time. On the right here, which is actually the x-axis, which technically usually actually is here, right? But this is again time series data that's moving actually to the right because it's moving according to time. You look on the bottom here, right? This is 2 p.m. and this is like, you know, so this is like a 2 a.m. all the way to basically 2 p.m. So about like a 12-hour kind of a view over here. Actually, because we are looking at a 3-minute candle. But if we change it actually, if we change this thing and say, okay, maybe let's look at like a 15-minute candle, right? Then you see the whole basically graph changes. Because now every single one of these graphs right now is basically 15 minutes, right? Every single one of these basically bars is 15 minutes, right? So 4 bars is basically 1 hour. So 4 bars basically tells us how did the price change within the last basically hour. Okay, and we go back again here. We go back to the time display. We go to here, right? Look at here on the upper left. We go to D. We go basically on daily. Again, the graph changes again, right? And this is very small actually right now because Hyperliquid only started trading oil very recently. So you are actually very, you are like, this is the best timing right now to be able to basically work on oil because this is very new, right? Only recently are you basically able to trade oil on chain on Hyperliquid like this. Again, every single one of these bars is 1 day. You see these days, right? Oil was rising basically from March 4th, March 5th, March 6th, March 7th, March 8th, and the 9th. Again, something happened. I'm sure like Trump tweeted and the price of oil crashed again, all the way to basically $80. But it went from like basically about $80 right now to a high of about like $117. Can you imagine basically putting a position, your agent being able to put a position here at this low and it close here and how much money it would have made? Think about that. But think about also like if you had a position all the way here but didn't close it and then this red bar comes in like a red dildo all up in that ass and you lost all this money. And it's funny actually, sometimes you basically hear it, people like joke around like green dildo, red dildo, so excuse my language. But it's a reality, man. I mean, these things will like fuck you, right? So we want our agent to be able to like navigate all this like nonsense or mess, whatever, right? That is made actually for agents. This is not made for humans. Like humans were not made to basically stay here and basically stare at the screens all day, man. We were meant to be outside touching grass, not to be like in front of the screens watching these like bars trying to figure out what it is, man. But an agent to know exactly what to do with this. It can keep more information in their head. It is not greedy. It is not impatient. Not like human beings like us. So we want basically an agent to basically trade on our behalf and make less mistakes and be more profitable than us. And I'm very confident that same as basically, you know, coding agents took over coding, trading agents are going to take over trading as well. We're not going to be trading by hand in the next couple of years. It's going to be over. And why would you? Right? The mind gets tired very fast. I mean, I trade discretionary, right? But the mind can be only focused maybe like for 2 hours maybe at a time. But our agents actually could be on chain trading 24 hours a day for us on our behalf while we are asleep. And hence the dream of like making money while we sleep. Okay? So that's the idea, right? So, but before we say that, actually, we have to like really learn like a little bit of history, actually. Where does this come from? This actually came from Japan. This actually came from a rice trader by the name of Munehisa Honma. Come on now. it's not let's see my man on Wikipedia. Munehisa, sometimes it's spelled actually Honma, H-O-N-M-A, but sometimes also it's spelled H-O-M-M-A, Munehisa, right? This guy, man, this guy was amazing, man. This dude, actually, and you have to actually read his story. This guy came from a very, very wealthy family, and they had like they used to basically trade rice. And when his father passed, he became basically a trader for the family itself. But he was very, very clever, man. And this guy actually in this region of Japan in the 1700s, this is actually when the futures markets came actually from the rice markets. This is actually really a big part of history. So to understand this, right, to understand this stuff, right, you have to go back in history and actually learn about this guy, Munehisa Honma. This guy, right, learn about him, right, and actually what actually did he see to be able to be like this like renowned world trader? Like this guy apparently had like 100+ trades, like back to back winning trades, profitable trades. So we want to learn his secret. So if this guy in the 1700s was able to do this, man, without agents and AI and Google and all that shit and internet, whatever, right? Then we should be able to do that with all the skills we have today, all the resources, agents, AI, all that stuff. We need to be able to do better than this guy. Even though, of course, he came from a wealthy family, he has monopolies. Of course, he has information about the market that he can really do things, blah blah blah, whatever, right? So the agent is actually. So the idea is that for our agent, we gotta basically get our agent ready, give it information that it needs, data that it needs to basically make better trades. So to be able to really embody yourself in this stuff, right? You have to basically look up basically who this guy is, and you also have to be able to go to Amazon and grab candlestick Japanese. Sorry, it's very specific. Japanese candlestick by Steve Nyson. That's his name. Where's my I'm not sure my internet right. This book, right? It's on Goodreads, but let's check out Amazon as well. Right. This book is a must-have or must-read. This book right here, Japanese Candlestick Charting Techniques by Steve Nyson. Right. By Steve Nyson. I carry this book everywhere I go. In my backpack right now. Just here. My backpack right now. I got this book. This is my Bible. I read this at least I've read this at least twice now. This book. Right. So what I was saying before is that this is basically going to be like research development all the freaking time. R&D, man. Right. Read. Educate yourself, read papers, read books, whatever, right? You'll be able to really help design strategies, man, to make money. Right? Because the market basically gives us opportunities every single day, man. Every single day something is happening in the world. And now you can basically trade all these assets, man. You come here, right? Actually, let's go to my platform that I let's go to Nexwave. Obviously, I'm kind of biased because I made it, but let's go to Nexwave, right? This is a signals. We come back to this later because you will need it for sure, right? But let's look at here. If we look at actually like a DEXs, right? Right now, you're gonna look at it here, right? We have commodities, stocks, right? Equities, indices, right? Here, right? We have the Japanese. Actually, it should be this is actually the XYZ actually 100 is more like the Nasdaq. Actually, equivalent to the Nasdaq. You got the USR, Aerospace, Nikkei, US dollar index. Commodities, right? Platinum, natural gas, copper, palladium, uranium, aluminum. You can trade all this stuff now on chain. So you don't have to be basically be in Wall Street or part of Wall Street to be able to basically trade like Wall Street. And you can do it on chain 24 hours a day. And there's going to be many, many more opportunities coming up because we should not worry about the jobs that AI is taking, but we should actually really trying to anticipate the jobs actually AI will create. And I shouldn't even say jobs because we're talking about sovereignty. We're talking about being sovereign individuals, being able to generate revenue for ourselves on chain using agents, right? So we want to be able to trade this stuff, right? So if you go to on Nexwave, You will see again. I just want to show you really quick because we'll come back to it, right? But you're going to basically see Hyperliquid, crypto, right? BTC, ETH, Sol, Hype, all that stuff, whatever, right? And all this information, and also like really, you can also like trade again, crypto, equities, indices, stocks, commodities, FX, even Korean stocks here, right? And FX as well. Basically, the Euro FX or the Japanese yen. The world is changing, man. I mean, this is like mind-blowing, actually. Think about it. Anybody, somewhere, a kid in West Africa can plug into this basically blockchain and trade like Wall Street. So there's no more gatekeeping now. It's over. No more gatekeeping, man. Right? But before we get to this part, we need to understand how to basically write an agent to help us like trade in this particular environment again. Okay? In this environment here. Right? Understand what this means, right? How do I get even how come my agent can like basically get here, right? You can look at here, you can connect your wallet, boom, connect to my, next agent, boom, I connect it up. It brings me here, tells me about my balance. I got like $97 here right now. Actually, agent trading. It had $100, so it lost about $3. Look at the trading history. Now I can see it now. I can see how much money it made, how much money it lost. I can basically go to view all and look at all the trades made by these agents, about 124 right now, 124 trades. Did he make money? Did he lose money? Obviously, it seems like he lost money. If you look at here, right, on the P&L side of it, it lost like 12 cents, 38 cents. It made 26 cents. It lost 34 cents, right? So basically just testing it right now. 26 cents here, right? Let's see how, if he made some money, right? Lost 42, lost quite a bit of money recently. Right? But everything coming back to basically, it made like 86 cents here, about $1. That's not bad. So we lost about like $3 basically this past few days. But you can see we're testing it out on all basically assets, right? On Samsung, on FTT, on all these basically all these stocks and crypto and commodities and stuff like that. And actually, this is not even actually recommended. You should really focus on one vertical actually in the beginning. Otherwise, you're going to basically end up losing money. Right? But you can see the test here, I'm basically capping it to like really small losses and not like losing too much money. Okay? But we'll come back to this, right? So this is very, very important. And now, if your agent now is able to like basically make money here and do some stuff, right? Then we're going to talk about opening up vaults. Because vaults are a game changer, because vaults is almost like having a hedge fund on chain. You have an agent, you actually open up a vault here, right? Open up a vault here, boom, right? Open up a vault, right? Then you can basically create a vault. Anybody can actually create a vault. Anybody, anywhere in the world. You create a vault, step 1. Step 2, you plug in your vault, your agent to your vault, right? And all of a sudden, you basically have a fund on chain. Look at this guy. He has $10 million in his vault. And this is from people depositing, the depositors depositing in this particular vault. You see here, right? How much people are depositing here? Sorry, unrealized P&L and the vault amount. How much money did they get in the vault? And the all-time P&L. This guy made about $1.5 billion. Is it the deposit? No, sorry, the leader is here. You can see the leader. The leader has $500,000 here, and he made about $235,000. But this guy deposited almost $4 million. Unrealized P&L is $1.5 million, $1.5 million. And this could be you. You basically own this particular vault, and you allow for people to deposit money in this particular vault permissionlessly. Think about that for a second. You create a vault, you have an agent that trades on behalf of the vault, and you have a fund on chain. So you're living in West Africa right now, but you are a whiz at math and algos and all that stuff and Python, and kind of like how it works, right? And you have an idea of strategies that can make money, but you don't have the funds. You have $100. You could open up a vault for $100. Deposit $100. I would recommend depositing at least like $500, whatever, right? And other people come and deposit on your vault, and so your agent can basically trade on their behalf, which is kind of like copy trading. Let me actually make this this is very important, man. This is one in a lifetime opportunity that the world is changing right now. Anybody, anywhere in the world with the talent and the skills can basically become a hedge fund on chain. Let me say it again. Anybody with some talent and know-how can be a hedge fund on chain. You start with a couple $100, and your vault can have like an unlimited ceiling in the end. You can look at actually here the other vaults as well, the ones by Hyperliquid, right? The Hyperliquid provider operator, right? How much is here, right? This is damn near $500 million. There's $362 million here. Right? And don't worry about these numbers. We'll basically understand all these numbers, everything, what it means, right? But Hyperliquid is very, very unique, actually. There's nothing like it out there. And actually, one other detail that makes it very, very important is basically, you look at the trade history here, right, for the agent itself. If you click on this little green button here, right, it will take you to the actual trade. And it gives you information about the trade, the time the trade happened, the hash of the basically trade itself, right, the user, the action itself, and the numbers, the limit price, and the size. All of this information is on chain. All this information is written on the blockchain forever. There's no other chain like it before Hyperliquid. And right now, there's a couple more actually coming up trying to compete, namely Aster. Aster now has an L1 actually chain, which means that actually all the trades are written on chain. It wasn't like this before because it was just an API. And I also heard that Pacifica also is about to thinking about having their own L1. So I'm not sure like if they're going to leave Solana, obviously, I guess have their own L1 and they have their own trading stuff. Okay? So that's the idea, right? Like Hyperliquid is unique, and once you understand that actually it's an L1 blockchain plus an exchange baked into one, you will basically your mind will just go explode. Okay? So step one, we're gonna learn to use Hyperliquid. Right? We're gonna understand what actually candles are, what signals are. Again, and let's actually go back to that before I forget. Because I was talking about before that we wanted to basically make sure that we understand, we want to make this as simple as possible. Because when you keep it bare, it's basically just the candles, right? But let's actually maybe make it smaller. Let's maybe use like a 15-minute candles, which is very popular, right? Again, 15-minute candle means actually basically every candle here is basically 15 minutes. When you go look at here, 15 minutes, when it's red, people are selling. When it's green, people are buying. And here you can basically tell that the sellers or the bears are totally in control here. They sold it all the way down here. And actually, what does this mean at this low level? What does it mean? So at this level, that means that actually nobody at this level wanted to sell anymore at this particular level, right? So people said, okay, well, this is the lowest we will go, and then we're going to start buying up from here. And if you notice, like now buyers come in again, start buying up. They buying up a little bit. Of course, the price drops with this kind of crazy shadows or wicks. They call them wicks or shadow, depending on what it is, right? So the candle basically, this is a body of the candle, the body, right? This is a body, okay? And this thing, this actually stems, or the candle is basically a wick of the candle, or we can call it a wick or a shadow, because if this is a body, this is a shadow. If you call this a candle, then this is a wick. So it's more like depending on how you call it basically. So you have like basically shadows, you have shadow versus wick, and you will see actually it's wick, is W-I-K? Yeah, wick, I think wick, right? Yes. Is it wick like this? No, yes. Oh, yes. So you can see basically what actually it means, right? Shadow versus wick, okay? So wick is like for a candle and shadow for a body. And that's actually what it is, right? So either you call this a real body or a candle, okay? So now, when we say this actually, again, we have the price on the right here, okay? With this is a price. You can see like this red bar. It tells you the price of the item at the time. And then this on the bottom here is the time. What is the price at a particular time? That's really what it is. So if every candle is here basically 15 minutes, so this is like 15:15, this is 15:30, this is 4:15, so sorry, 2:15, 2:30, 2:45, 3 o'clock, 3:15, 3:30. Okay, and then don't worry again, we'll go again through all the details and explain exactly why candles are important, what you should know about them, and then you will basically get the basic information about them, right? But now, for us to basically, candles like this, that doesn't really give us any kind of clues, or sometimes we need like better information or more data to basically help us make better information. So what actually that actually means is that, let's say again we go back to, we want to have it how we had it in the beginning with all the indicators. We click on here, right here. There's in indicators. We click on here, and then we can look at the ones that I like, RSI or relative strength index. Boom, it's right there. Okay, and then we can have another one called ADX, average node directional index, and then we'll explain actually what this means later. But this actually is made by the same guy, made both of these. Okay, so now you see, now this kind of helps us kind of, you can see there's a kind of correlation between this and this. RSI, right? And RSI basically just tells us if an item, if an asset has been oversold or overbought. If it's below 30, it's been oversold. If it's over 70, it's overbought. And then we'll go again details, or even look it up again if you look at actually what the RSI means, or the ADX. ADX basically is just direction of the strength. Right now it's very low, it's at 18, right? But that shows you that basically right now there's really no trend per se, right? It's kind of choppy. It's kind of like sideways here. It's not going up, it's not coming down. It's very, very, well, in Japanese they call it a box range, right? In Japanese, or in techniques in Japanese things, they call this box range. Box range is called. All right, this is a box range. Okay, so that means that basically the price is ranging. Sometimes you might hear that. Okay, that means that actually the price is not going anywhere. It's not going up, it's not going down. It's just like basically sideways here. Okay, and this basically tells you the strength of the trend. So you can see here like how it kind of like, you know, from here, you can see actually it's kind of like opposite kind of way of thinking. You see here it goes up, right? That means that the actual trend is very strong here. But where is it strong? Let's go back up like here. You can see here there's a sharp drop, right? That means actually the speed of the drop itself determines the angle and the slope of this particular bar here. Okay, so these two, you see that how red it is here and how fast it went down, boom, and very strong, right? There was a lot of sellers right here, right? And that basically is here. Tells you on the left, on the bottom here, on the red one, right? From here to here. And then from here, it changed again. The trend died. It's kind of trying to go back up. And that's why the trend died here. And it started going down, right? But I don't even have to explain to you this, because then this actually, your agent will know exactly what to do with this. Okay? Your agent will know exactly what to do with this. And now one more that I like. We go again to indicators here. And I can go to Bollinger Bands. Right? Boom. Now we have how it started. And this is a Bollinger Band. Okay? And a Bollinger Band basically is what they call like upper band or lower band. And then the middle basically is called like a moving average. And you can see it actually here. A 20-day moving average is a yellow line here. The yellow line is a 20-day moving average. The blue line is the upper band. And the bottom line is a lower band. And the price has been in this band all like since basically, what time was it? So this is like 1:45 this morning. Right? So this makes a lot of sense to us, obviously, because we know what indicators, what they look like, but the agent can actually even make better use of this, basically. So we're going to basically teach our agents how to use the price, indicators, and the historical data in order to make better trades, or even better than better trades, to make profitable trades that generate revenue, trades that make money. That's what actually our only goal here is to generate revenue. At first, we're making $1 a day, or $20 a month, or $10 a day, which is $300 a month, $100 a day, which is $3K a month, or $1,000 a day, which is $30K a month. Or maybe you have 10 agents that make $100 a day, which is $1,000, which is $30K a month. So you are either operating one or many agents. Okay? So now we come back here and say, okay, well, how do we basically do all this stuff? Right? How do we, this like so many details, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It just takes your time, it takes time for your eyes to get used to it. That's all. That's basically what it is. But if you look at it for a while, you will see that actually, if I start removing the Bollinger Band, I remove the Bollinger Bands, boom, whoops. Oh, I deleted the Bollinger Bands, actually. Let me delete them. I delete the Bollinger Bands, right? What's going on here? Let me delete the Bollinger Bands. How come it's not going away? What is this? Let's delete. Okay, it's gone. We delete this one again, and we delete this one again, and we are back to it again. Very simple bear, basically what we call like a naked chart. The price on the x-axis, the time on the lower axis. Basically, that's why it's called time series data. It's very important actually here. We'll probably hear this like a few more times. It's basically time series data, right? The price and price over time. Okay. So with time series data, actually this is going to be very, very crucial on our AI research actually. Time series data. Kind of like a side note a little bit. But this is going to be very, very, very crucial. Time series data here, right? Very, very crucial here to understand this stuff. Okay, and then we're going to think about like foundation models for like time series data. There's going to be like again, let's see here. If we go to Google Chronos, right? Google Chronos. Is it Chronos with a K or Chronos time series? I think it was no, sorry, Google Times FM. Sorry, Chronos is by Amazon. Times FM. Okay. So we look into this again. So Google has like this thing called Times FM. It's basically like a time series foundation model, right? This is a feature for sure. This is a feature, right? And you actually heard about actually foundation models before in AI, and we're going to look into this stuff. Actually, what actually does this mean? How can this help us basically make better trades again? Right? So this is actually from Google, right? It's called Times FM, and we're going to look at it like later. But this is a side note, and we're getting ahead of ourselves. All right. So this is the goal basically for the curriculum for this new Algo Traders Club, which we're going to kick off this weekend, and especially basically by Sunday 5 p.m. because actually I want to explain why it's important to get ready on the weekends and be able to like tweak stuff on weekdays, because markets are closed on the weekends and they open on Sunday evening, but on chain is 24 hours a day, and that actually creates problems, but also opportunities as well. All right. So come back here. We look at the curriculum again. If you go to like Algo Traders Club, click on 2026 curriculum, and this will change again, right? This will change, right? So there's a kind of like four kind of parts or whatever. The deploy itself, right? How to basically manage your cloud server, and you can use Claude Code to basically help you manage. Personally, I use a DigitalOcean. I've been using it for a while, but it's a great actually thing to use, right? How to use basically Python and UV as your operator toolkit, right? You have to understand this stuff a little bit, right? How Python works, imports works and stuff. The vibe coding workflow per se, because we're gonna vibe code a lot of the stuff basically. Right? We're not going to be writing anything by hand. We're gonna vibe code the stuff and deploy our agents, right? And then see the results and then improve our strategy. So that's gonna be the flow. Okay. Then we're gonna deploy our Hyperliquid operator, and actually what it takes for you to basically, especially secure your wallet and the private keys, because right now we don't have a scheme for the private keys. We will in the future. We will use Privy and all that stuff, but I feel like it's too complicated, right? In the beginning, it's going to be like a little bit dangerous, but we're not going to put too much money on, obviously, on agent. You saw mine. I only put like $100 in there. But how do you basically make sure that your .env and your address and your wallet is safe, at least in the beginning, while you experiment? But in the future, to go to production, I would like really advise to have like a security scheme around your private key and how to manage it and so forth. Okay. Now, how to also use like fast API and all that stuff, like, right? How to check the health of your server and so forth. Okay. You need to understand risk management again. This is actually the most important, right? So you don't lose money. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. You are going to lose money. It might sound like counterintuitive, but you are going to lose money. But the idea is that to make more money than you lose, actually, to have more winning trades than profitable trades, right? So actually, what in trading, that's what we call win rate. What is your win rate? Okay, right? What is your win rate? People will ask you, and usually, let's say 7 out of 10. That means that you have like 7 profitable trades and 3 losing trades. So your win rate is like basically 7 out of 10. Your win rate. You are winning 7 trades and losing 3. Or if you maybe 50%, maybe it's like 5 out of 10. Or maybe 2 out of 10, which is very or 2 out of 10 is like horrible. So you are basically winning 3 trades and losing 10 trades. So you will actually understand the terminology around trading about like win rate, time series, box ranges, shadows and wicks, all these terms. In the beginning, it might sound foreign, but the idea is like you have to understand the lingo. The trading lingo is very, very important, right? So here, the trading lingo is something you have to basically get in tune with. Understand trading lingo. And this obviously take time because, you know, if you don't know it, you don't know it, right? Understanding trading lingo, language, the lingo, like right? The words and the terminology, right? What is a win rate? What is a RR, right? Sometimes you hear, right? Risk to reward ratio. Risk to reward ratio. Okay, RR. You will hear it everywhere. Sometimes RR. It's called RR. Right? Sometimes people say like reward to risk ratio. So you gotta be careful actually, because risk to reward ratio means like how much I'm willing to risk to earn how much. Right? So reward to risk or risk to reward. you gotta be careful with this actually with these numbers, right? But luckily both actually words start with R. Risk to, all three of them, but that's why it's RR. But it can be confusing. But it's a matter of time. After a while, you understand exactly what this is. Okay? So risk to reward ratio, right? And then the connection basically means that how to use basically Claude Code or now Cursor now, because I feel like Claude Code is just too expensive, man. And now I think like I heard that they're going to remove like Claude Code from the access from like the $20 a month plan and only do it for like $100 a month plan, and I think it's too much. If you were somewhere in Africa somewhere, I'd rather you like use like Cursor than Claude right now. And even like I even have some more feelings about this, but we'll talk about it later, because I feel like with Cursor it works better because now all these models are the same, man. They're getting better, man. All of them are getting better. Cursor, Grok, GPT, all that stuff, they're getting better, right? So why not basically let like Cursor Composer actually pick the model for you instead of you trying to either use this LLM or that LLM, and then this one today I'm like, okay, today I'm using Claude, tomorrow I'm using GPT, I'm bouncing around all that stuff. It's like really mentally taxing, man. Right, so how do we avoid that? I think Cursor actually solves this particular problem. That's why Elon Musk is trying to buy it for like $60 billion, right? Okay, again, so then we have the last part basically module was basically the strategy development. Okay, going live with paper trading, which is very, very crucial, which means that actually you are not trading real money, you are trading basically paper trading, right? And unfortunately, actually our paper trader on Nexwave is not fully ready yet, but it actually is in the works right now. But I want to be able to basically, this is called this is a backtester on the paper, what is the paper trader? Paper trader right here. Okay, so our paper trader will be like ready soon, but they will allow you to basically actually paper trade your strategies before you put basically real money. But unfortunately, it like still needs like a little bit of work. But I'll get it done very, 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 very soon. But it's actually already there, most of it, right? And also like backtesting as well. How do you basically use your strategy with like a historical data so you can like backtest your strategies and improve your strategies, right? So backtesting and paper trading, these are like two crucial elements, and actually that's why I built the Nexwave. And I want to make it like the place for basically you can come, get your signals, get your backtesting going, and get your paper trading going as well for your agents. And that's why Nexwave is strictly built for actually agents and not humans, right? If you go to the Nexwave, like what is it? If you go to the Nexwave, like front page, you will see it here, right? It's basically built for actually AI agents and not humans. Okay, this Nexwave is for like AI agents. It's not even for humans, right? So all this information, I just made it basically to be able to be nice and at least like for operators so they can kind of understand what's going on. But here is basically signals. The signals basically is telling your agent basically to short or long an asset, particular asset, and you can basically look into like into HIP-3 again, right? For like these assets, or you can look into like eventuals, entropic, Mag 7, Magnificent 7, or whatnot, right? So this idea, right? We're basically selling signals to your agents, and they can also come here and basically backtest and paper trade as well. Okay, so paper trading, not real money. Advanced operations. This is more like scaling, but this is like the last of the last, whatever, right? But we're gonna start very, very small, right? Understand how to basically like work our servers and when basically how to go from a PRD document, right? A PRD, how do we go from a PRD document? Okay, let me just go here. And how do we go from a PRD, which is a product requirements document, PRD. You will hear it everywhere, right? We basically want to have a PRD, which is a basic document to basically explain actually what our agent is, and then from there we'll write the prompt to generate initial code, and then we have like a basic code to get started, and then from there we are going to iterate and move faster, man. So we go from PRD, right? We go here from PRD to prompt to code. Or sometimes people even go from PRD to code, but I'd rather go basically from PRD to prompt to code. We make the document, we give Claude to basically create a prompt, and we take the prompt, we give it to Cursor to basically generate the code for the initial piece of our agent. All right? So that's where we are right now. So we start this weekend. Again, official time is going to be Sunday afternoon around 4 p.m. because the markets open at 6 p.m. And I want you to see the anomalies that happen between at 6 p.m. It's very, very important actually, right? To understand actually why trading crypto and trading commodities and stuff on chain is very, very different. And you have to be aware of all those differences or you will lose a lot of money, right? Crypto is different from commodities, stocks, obviously, indices, and FX. Very, very different. Okay? But your agent can be trading both, can be trading all of them actually. Or you can have a separate way where you have like basically like a centralized engine and you have a bunch of agents that basically trade commodities here, indices there, stocks there, whatever, and FX there, and all that stuff. Okay? So that's the idea, right? The idea is like you have to basically be able to like understand the markets from your point of from your perspective, understand the global outlook or of like markets, how they work, whatever, so you can basically guide your agent. Okay. All right. So you can basically guide your agent, right? So I will see you this weekend. I will have like another video, basically like start a video on Sunday evening. But right now, I just want to give you like an overall view of like where we're going basically with Algo Traders Club. We are deleting everything that was there, man. That wasn't even relevant right now. But now I have exact blueprint and idea on how to basically build AI agents, and I want to share it with you. And I want you to basically be my customer at Nexwave. Obviously, I have ulterior motive because what it is like I realize that with Nexwave, I have to train my users, right? But this is the future. Your trading agent will need signals, and they will get them from Nexwave, hopefully, right? But before that, I need to have way more people building trading agents. And the only way to get them there is to basically help them, like, upskill fast and deploy the agents, right? And we can do it. We can do this very, very fast on a weekend, this weekend, hopefully, and going into the next week. So this Sunday, the 26th, we start slow when the markets open at 5 p.m. again. I'll do 1 hour before the markets open at 5 p.m. And then we'll have I'll set up a call for Sunday at 5 p.m. and we'll go till about 7 p.m. Or maybe depending on whatever time, basically, right? So I'll basically decide. But this is the beginning of the new era, and I want you guys to understand that it's not easy. It's definitely challenging, but I promise you, it's very, very rewarding if you can climb up that hill. And now with AI tools, it's becoming actually easier than ever to basically build AI agents. All right? I know it's a lot of information, but we'll dissect every single piece by piece, break it down, and make it easy to understand, make it easy to digest. But the most important part actually is that I want to build a community of algo traders and strong algo traders where we can really, break bread, share knowledge, share strategies, and the best way to build profitable trading agents. Profitable, autonomous trading agents. They can run for weeks, run for days, run for months, and hopefully with a profitable strategy. That's making you money, making us money. And that's the Algo Traders Club. Again, my name is Fode. I'll be your coach. I've been doing this for quite a long time. And my goal is to build a strong community going forward. And I will share everything that I know with you. So I hope to see you inside.